Husband and wife, in the sacred bond of matrimony, are expected to be pillars of support for each other, sharing joys and sorrows, triumphs and challenges. But sometimes, even the most intimate connections can take a twisted turn, leading to unforeseen consequences that shatter the very foundation of love and trust. Hi guys, and welcome back to Crimeco, where we break down some of the most gruesome true crime cases from all over the world, giving you the most up-to-date detailed information. If that sounds like something you are interested in, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a like. A like from you really helps the channel. Thank you. Now let's dive in. Naina Sawhney was born on July 21, 1966 to middle-class Hindu parents in Delhi. She was the daughter of Sardar Harbhajan Singh and Jaswant Kaur. Naina had one younger brother, Amandeep Singh. Her father worked as a storekeeper in an ordnance factory. Naina was an outspoken and confident girl who graduated from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College in New Delhi with a degree in English. Naina joined the National Students' Union of India, NSUI, and rose to become the All India Girls Convener under then Youth Congress President Mukul Wasnik. Despite her political ambitions, Naina decided to pursue a pilot's license during this time and later opened a boutique. Naina rejoined the Delhi Youth Congress in 1989 as General Secretary under then-President Sushil Sharma. The two were said to have a close relationship, and they married in early 1995, keeping their union a secret. According to witnesses, Naina had close relations with several Congress leaders, something Sushil resented and which caused strife in their marriage. Though their union was troubled, Naina was reportedly planning to leave Sushil and migrate to Australia. She confided her intentions to a friend and schoolmate, Matlub Karim, a fellow Youth Congress worker. Jealousy and suspicion had been building up in Sushil over Naina's relationship with Matlub. On the night of July 2, 1995, Sushil returned home to find Naina consuming alcohol and talking on the phone. When she saw Sushil, she hung up. An enraged Sushil redialed the number and found Matlub on the other end. In a fit of jealous rage, Sushil allegedly shot Naina dead with his licensed .32 revolver. He then wrapped her body in a bedsheet, dragged it down to his car, and drove to Baghya restaurant. There, with the help of the manager Keshav Kumar, he stuffed Naina's body in the tandoor and set it on fire after using paper and butter to aid the flames. As we continue, you may want to know what tandoor is, a fascinating piece of culinary tradition that holds both cultural and gastronomic significance. Tandoor is a traditional clay oven, cylindrical in shape, and has been used for centuries in the Indian subcontinent and Central Asia. The construction of a tandoor involves shaping clay into a large, hollow drum-like structure. The clay walls are thick, which allows the tandoor to retain heat at very high temperatures. Traditionally, the oven is heated using charcoal or wood, giving it the ability to reach soaring temperatures of up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 480 degrees Celsius. This ingenious design makes the tandoor ideal for cooking various delicacies, from succulent tandoori meats and kebabs to freshly baked bread like naan and roti. The tandoor imparts a distinct smoky flavor and a delightful crispness to the dishes. The grisly details of Naina's murder paint a disturbing picture. According to police, after shooting her twice, Sushil dragged her body downstairs and stuffed it in his car. He then drove to Baghya restaurant, summoned manager Keshav Kumar, and ordered him to close the restaurant and send away customers and staff. Keshav got a gunny sack at Sushil's request, but Naina's body was too big to fit. So Sushil took the body wrapped in a bedsheet inside and placed it in the tandoor. However, he ran out of ghee to aid the flames, so he sent Keshav to buy butter. Even 500 grams of butter was not enough, so Sushil used paper to help burn the body after it was half shoved into the tandoor. When police constable Kunju first investigated the fire, Sushil told him they were burning Congress posters. But Kunju grew suspicious upon seeing the unusually large fire and massive smoke. It was only after an elderly vegetable vendor screamed fire that Kunju jumped the compound wall and discovered the charred body in the tandoor. As police arrived, Sushil managed to flee the scene. Keshav Kumar was immediately arrested and questioned, eventually confessing and implicating Sushil. The charred remains were discovered around 11 p.m. when Constable Ahmad Nazir Kunju investigated a massive fire at Baghya restaurant. During the investigation, police recovered blood-soaked clothes and a torn letter written by Naina asking Sushil to perform her last rites, indicating she feared for her safety. Witnesses described Sushil as an ambitious but violent man with a brash attitude, prone to abducting and assaulting rivals. When Sushil finally surrendered in Bangalore, he initially claimed innocence, but he eventually confessed to police, though he continued to spin stories attempting to confuse investigators and change the charge from murder. The weapon, his licensed .32 revolver, was seized and ballistic tests matched it to the shell casing found at the crime scene. All evidence pointed towards Sushil's guilt, but his delay tactics prolonged the case for years. It took close to a decade for him to be ultimately convicted, bringing home the flaws in India's criminal justice system at the time. However, while justice was delivered, it came far too late for Naina and her distraught family left to deal with the aftermath of this brutal and senseless crime. An initial autopsy conducted at Lady Hardinge Medical College concluded that Naina died due to excessive bleeding and was unconscious when dismembered. Police, dissatisfied with the report, requested a second autopsy which revealed that Naina had in fact died due to 2 bullet wounds, one in the neck and one in the skull. Doctors detected the bullets through an X-ray, evidence that corroborated the police finding the .32 shell at the couple's apartment. The second autopsy dramatically overturned the findings of the first and established that Naina was murdered and her body dismembered after death, likely due to the intensity of flames in the tandoor. DNA evidence also confirmed the identity of the victim. For 9 days, police conducted a massive manhunt for Sushil, who finally surrendered in Bangalore on July 10. His head was shaven, and he claimed to know nothing of the murder, alleging he had gone on a pilgrimage to Ajmer, Jaipur, and Bombay. But police had enough evidence, including the .32 revolver and shell casing, Keshav Kumar's confession, blood-soaked clothes, and the torn letter Naina wrote asking Sushil to perform her last rites. When questioned by police, Sushil changed his story and alleged a political conspiracy against him by his rival Maninderjit Singh Bidda, president of the Indian Youth Congress. Police suspected Sushil was trying to confuse the investigation and change the charge from murder to manslaughter. Evidence indicated the couple had a strained relationship, and Sushil flew into a rage upon discovering Naina planned to leave him and migrate abroad. Sushil eventually confessed to murdering Naina in a statement to police. He named 2 Congress leaders with whom Naina allegedly had affairs, though police suspected he was spinning stories to muddy the waters. Delhi police filed charges of murder, destruction of evidence, and criminal conspiracy against 5 people, including Sushil and Keshav. In November 2003, a trial court found Sushil guilty and sentenced him to death, while Keshav received 7 years rigorous imprisonment. Sushil appealed in the Delhi High Court, which upheld the lower court's ruling in 2007. Sushil then appealed in the Supreme Court, which commuted his death sentence to life imprisonment in 2013. The court said since Sushil had no prior criminal record and the murder was due to a strained personal relationship, the death penalty was not warranted. In December 2018, the Delhi High Court ordered Sushil's immediate release, saying he had already served his sentence and keeping him in jail indefinitely would infringe on his human rights. The court noted that Sushil had served over 25 years, including remission, and the murder was due to his strained relationship with his wife rather than being a crime against society. This was one of India's most high-profile murder cases in the 1990s that highlighted flaws in the country's criminal justice system. While Sushil was ultimately convicted, it took close to a decade due to procedural lapses concerning autopsy reports and Sushil's attempts to mislead the investigation. The grisly details also shocked the nation and revealed the brutal depths to which jealousy and suspicion can drive a person. After spending over 2 decades in jail, Sushil Sharma was finally released in December 2018 as ordered by the Delhi High Court. There are conflicting reports about what Sushil has been up to since his release. On the one hand, some reports claim that Sushil has stayed out of trouble and lived a quiet life with his elderly parents. They say he has followed through on his plans to counsel couples and create road rage awareness programs. However, many critics doubt the sincerity of his initiatives and see them as attempts to whitewash his image. Again, there are unconfirmed rumors that Sushil has tried to covertly resume his political activities. Some former associates allege that he has been lobbying politicians and seeking favors just like he did before Naina's murder. However, these claims have not been substantiated and Sushil has vehemently denied any such activity. Maxwell Pereira, who headed the police team that investigated the Tandoori murder case, published a book detailing the investigation. According to Pereira, after shooting Naina, Sushil contemplated what he had done, asking himself, "Ye main kia kar diya? Ye mush kia ho gaya? What have I done? How could I have done this?" In jail, Sushil initially wanted to end his life, but was saved by another inmate who advised him to read religious scriptures. Sushil spent his time reading religious books and meditating, becoming an introvert as he contemplated what he had done. Sushil's main priority after release was caring for his elderly parents who were overjoyed to have their son back before they closed their eyes. His mother said, "Hamari zindagi 10 saal or bath gedi. Our lifespan has increased by 10 years. Sushil expressed regret for murdering Naina and said he regretted it from the moment it happened, though he was not sure if he missed her after that. He initially went to Tirupati Balaji temple and had his head shaven as a penance. Sushil wanted to start counseling for couples before marriage to prepare them for life together, saying he might have been counseled his relationship with Naina would have turned out differently. He also wanted to create awareness around containing anger to prevent road rage incidents, having met many accused in jail who committed crimes in fits of anger. Regardless of what he does now, it is clear that Sushil's life will forever be marked by this heinous crime. While he may regret his actions, critics argue that no amount of penance or counseling can compensate for the brutal manner in which he took Naina's life. They say he should remain cut off from society to serve as a reminder of the consequences of extreme jealousy and violence within relationships. Pereira's account indicates that while Sushil expressed regret and did penance for his crime, he remained mostly concerned about the impact on himself, caring for his parents, seeking to counsel others, but not acknowledging the devastation he caused Naina's loved ones. His initial denial, lies, and tactical confessions showed a lack of genuine remorse and a selfish desire to escape punishment. Though ultimately convicted and sentenced, the lenient punishment, release after 25 years including remission, reflects an imperfect justice system that failed Naina and her family. The horrific manner of her murder, dismemberment, and destruction of her remains deserved a more stringent punishment that truly fit the heinous nature of the crime. However, the case did bring to light flaws in autopsy procedures, investigation delays, and loopholes in the law that could be corrected to ensure swift and strict justice for future such crimes. If nothing else, the Tandoori awakened the nation's collective conscience and highlighted the need for reforms to make our criminal justice system truly serve the interests of justice. Nana's family, who suffered the most in this tragedy, have largely kept out of the spotlight. They understandably want to move on from this painful chapter and build new lives. But for them, there can never truly be closure or justice for the daughter, sister, and wife they lost in such a brutal fashion. As for Sushil, he may live a quiet life with his elderly parents. However, the shadow of the Tandoor murder will likely loom over him for the rest of his days. His attempt to return to public life through initiatives may be genuine, but it seems unlikely he will ever truly make amends for his crime or its impact on Nana's loved ones. While he ultimately avoided the death penalty, the life sentence he is now serving is one marked by the indelible stain of a heinous act committed in a fit of jealous rage, a stain that will never fully wash away. While the specifics of the Tandoor murder case shocked the nation, it also spurred wider conversations about domestic violence, women's safety, and justice system reforms. In the end, while justice was served through Sushil's conviction, the Tandoor case exposed deep-rooted issues in Indian society. It showed how violence against women and a flawed criminal justice system allow male aggressors to usually go free while destroying women's lives. The rage and activism it sparked put pressure on the government with lasting consequences. Thus, in a tragic way, Nana's brutal death succeeded where her life failed. It galvanized people and created momentum for a movement that seeks safety, respect, and justice for all women. Her short life and painful end will not be in vain so long as it spurs us towards creating a more equitable, safe, and humane society for our mothers, sisters, daughters, and wives. And that ultimately would be the greatest tribute we could pay to Nana Sani, by honoring her memory through tangible actions that help prevent other daughters from suffering her fate. Let this then be the lasting lesson we take away from the Tandoor case, a lesson to spur us towards creating a world where love is cherished, trust is sacred, and violence against women is never tolerated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest true crime cases. We appreciate having you as part of our community as we explore the mysteries that continue to fascinate us all. Stay curious, and remember, justice may stay hidden in the darkest corner. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.